How excited were you guys to come back and reprise these roles?
I was so excited. I couldn't wait to come back. I think it was so the success of the first Frozen was a total surprise, and the opportunity to get to work with this creative team and this cast really felt like an amazing homecoming.
I was excited, but absolutely nervous because the first movie was such a gigantic success on so many levels. And before I had a chance to speak to the creative team, you have all the questions that anybody has, which is, how are you going to match the beauty and the resonance of the first film in terms of the themes? And also, how do you possibly do a musical sequel to something that connected with the zeitgeist as crazily as Frozen did? And the second we sat down with Chris and Jen and Bobby and Kristen and saw that none of them broke a sweat in the process, I was like, oh my God, this is brilliant. I'm all in. And that has just, even now, I'm still in awe because a sequel to a musical is just, you don't do them for a reason, especially a musical that is as resonant as Frozen. And they were able to not only achieve all my wildest dreams, but take it to another level.
Is there a song already that you guys have stuck in your head? Because obviously Let It Go was...
Into the Unknown.
Oh yeah, Into the Unknown.
Into the Unknown.
But
I
Jonathan
can't get it out of my
Groff...
head. It's like nonstop.
Jonathan Groff has an 80s power ballad that is one of the most mesmerizing songs in the history of filmdom. It makes me jealous. It makes me angry. I'm getting over it, but it's brilliant.
And you have a good song too.
I have a great song, but this is like next level crazy genius. I would say all of the songs are like earworms. They're all earworms.
They are. Bobby and Kristen can't really write a bad song, and they're also so committed to character and story. So through the years of developing it, there's a bunch of amazing songs that get cut in service of telling the story. And so they're earworms, but they also drive all the characters forward.
Say both of you guys, both your characters have very mature arcs this time around. You're trying to figure out how to be grown up and you're proposing. Is there any part of this that you felt resonated with your own life?
100% for me. Before we started making Frozen 2, I had this incident happen at home, and I caught it on video and showed it to Chris and Jen, and it was one of the most profound moments of my life where my daughter Ava, who was 5 at the time, was at a dinner table and she started bawling out of nowhere. She looks at us and she goes, "What if I don't want to grow up?" And it was such this profound moment because I think we all have it. Like, I think as kids we all have it, and then it's so traumatic to have that transition into like realizing that things aren't always going to be perfect, and sometimes eventually you're going to have questions that have uneasy answers. So for me, there was that part of Olaf's arc is the most fulfilling to me because it's not only a great platform for comedy, but also I think an emotional insight into the character that he didn't necessarily know in the first film to have.
Yeah. What about for you?
Adina's song Into the Unknown feels really resonant for me because I just think about like that voice that we have inside of us. I think about like when I was coming out of the closet when I was 23 years old and having this truth that I knew about myself and being a little scared of it and then finally getting up the courage to kind of express it, and how that was something that happened to me when I was 23. And then we all have those and continue through my life to have those things that push that you want to like grow and change and go to the next level, but it's scary to listen to that voice and to hear it. And so I find her song really moving and really exciting that little kids are going to come and watch the movie and hopefully be excited by that voice inside of them that might scare them a little bit.
Yeah, that's what you're saying is so great about it. This is also a platform. Like, these children are going to be watching this and they have someone that they can relate to. You also said that your kids had watched this and they already want it on repeat.
But literally, they saw it. Immediately, 2 things came out of their mouth. One was, Daddy, I think I like this more than Frozen 1. To which I responded with, what the hell is wrong with Frozen 1? And then the second thing was, when can we see it again? They've seen it twice now. The movie somehow gets better. I've seen it 3 times. It gets better and better with every viewing because you find new meanings, new layers. There's so many incredible themes in this movie to explore, not only about following that voice into the unknown of what the future represents and its potential, but also in reconciling your past. And I think that that is something that feels fresh in this space and feels like an exploration worthy of not only kids, but adults.
Yeah. We love your guys' dynamic duo situation here. So
Yes.
we have a little game for you. It's called Co-Star Confidential.
Okay.
Great.
We're going to have you guys ask
Yes.
each other these questions
Okay.
Okay.
to one another.
Okay. Jonathan, can I call you Jonathan or should I call you something else?
You can call me Jonathan.
Great.
It's okay.
Jonathan, how often do you get Let It Go stuck in your head?
I would say now that Into the Unknown has come out, it's to completely replace that. Now Into the Unknown is on the loop.
According to Access Hollywood, that answer is wrong.
Oh.
I don't know why, but they said that that's
Okay.
incorrect.
I understand.
talk
I
to them
understand.
about it.
Okay. I have a question for you.
Yes.
Josh, if I can call you that.
Joshua. I
Joshua. Okay. Joshua, do you remember the first time you got recognized by a fan in public?
Yes. I was shocked because I was doing a show on Broadway called the 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. And it was like my first week on Broadway. And somebody was like, Josh! And I thought I must have known them. So I was like, hey, good to see you trying to remember. And I felt bad because I couldn't remember this stranger's name who I actually didn't know at all. So it was a very out-of-body experience.
Wow.
When did you find out they were a fan?
They were like, oh my God, I just saw you last week and loved you. And I was like, oh, so we don't know each other. He's like, no, I'm what you call a fan. I'm like, those exist for me now. I was
so
like,
cool.
it was so humbling. And then I said, I have to go now. I want to find more of these fans and experience what this leads to. Jonathan,
Yes?
what do you consider your big break? And did you splurge on something special once you booked it?
Yes, I remember. I feel like my first big break was Spring Awakening, which started off Broadway at the
He
Atlantic
was
Theater.
brilliant in.
Thank you, Josh. And then we did it on Broadway, and I remember for opening night, our producers gave all of us a $100 gift card as an opening night present, and we were making basically $100 for the entire run of Spring Awakening off Broadway.
I was gonna say,
So it
can I
felt
just
like-
do a shout out to your producers? You guys got away with murder. You
True.
cheap bastards.
But we got, I was like 21, and we were like, we just got a $100 gift card, and I remember I bought.
We call that exploitation back in the Gad household.
In retrospect, maybe. That way was like 13 years ago, so maybe like the power of the dollar. I don't know. But then I bought the last season of Alias on DVD. That was what I
Ooh, it's a good
splurged on.
splurge.
I
Yeah.
was expecting like a car or like a watch or something.
No. I just really wanted to know what happened to Cindy
$100
Bristow.
from the producers of that show goes to Jennifer Garner's coffers, and that's the way it should be.
We're trying to do one more question. Then? Is that okay?
Yes. Okay, Joshua. What do you consider?
Now I prefer Josh again. I'm
Okay,
sorry to
no,
throw
it's
you.
fine. It's still fun. Josh,
Yeah.
what do you consider to be your biggest dad win?
Oh man, my biggest dad win probably playing Olaf.
Yeah.
Right? Like that comes with a lot of street cred. They don't care anymore. They would rather their father's name was Moana. But I do find that it gives me credibility with their friends. And
Right.
therefore, like, I get to be the cool dad. 'Cause especially around the release of Frozen 2. Because the kids will all say, what is Frozen 2 about? And I'll be like, what do you know of a non-disclosure agreement? And they'll be like, I don't understand what you're saying. And I'll be like, play with my kids and I maybe will tell you but can't. And then it goes from there.
Yeah.
Jonathan,
okay.
John, what
No,
are the
just still Jonathan.
Yanni,
Yeah.
what are the similarities between you and Kristoff?
I would say the similarities are, he has trouble in the second movie proposing and finding like a good way to express his love to Anna. And coming from Pennsylvania and growing up half Mennonite, I'm not great personally at sort of expressing myself. I'm getting better, and I feel like becoming an actor was really helpful and kind of opening me up. But I would say just sort of I'm good at compartmentalizing and not always expressing the way that I feel.